This company looks solid, but we found a hole in their pocket the size of a crater. Actually, it's not a hole, it's a silent revolution. Welcome to the boardroom of the Prancing Horse. Ferrari is facing a historical paradox. How do you sell the thrill of a supercar in a world that's legally mandated to go silent? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a $7 billion roadmap that proves Ferrari isn't just surviving the electric age, they're trying to own it. In the normal world, if you sell fewer products, you make less money. That's Business 101. But Ferrari lives in a different dimension. Last year, they shipped fewer cars, yet their bank account grew by 7%. It's what we call negative elasticity, which is fancy talk for the harder it is to get, the more people will pay for it. Their profit margin is now nearly 30%. To put that in perspective, for every dollar they spend, they're basically printing money. But here's the catch. The regulators are closing the loopholes. For years, Ferrari was treated like a small boutique shop, exempt from the strictest environmental rules. Not anymore. They've crossed the 10,000 unit threshold, meaning they're now playing in the big leagues with the same rules as Toyota or Ford. The legendary V12 engine is essentially on death row, and the cost to keep it breathing is becoming a €1 billion headache. Maranello's lineup is now a balancing act. Currently, about 42% of their fleet is already hybrid. Think of it as a technological bridge. They're using electric motors to make the cars faster while keeping the engine to keep the fans happy. But the real money? That's in the special series. These are the limited-run unicorns that drive the growth, while the rest of the world is worrying about gas prices. Think Ferrari makes its money on the car itself? Think again. They make it on the extras. In 2025, every single car that left the factory was customized. Not a single standard car exists anymore. Whether it's a special shade of red or seats made from a rare cow, these options added over €200 million to their profit. It's like buying a pizza where the pepperoni costs more than the dough. Global wealth is shifting, and Ferrari is moving its chess pieces accordingly. They're actually cooling off in China, down 19%. Why? Because in a high-fashion game, you never want to be overexposed in one market. Meanwhile, the Americas and the Middle East are hungry for those high-priced V12s. They are strategically creating, scarcity in the East to protect the brand's value in the West. Let's talk about grain in the silo, or cash flow. Ferrari generated €1.4 billion in pure, spendable cash last year. To put that in perspective, they could buy every person in a small city a luxury watch and still have change. This is critical because they aren't borrowing money from banks to build electric cars. They are funding the entire revolution out of their own pocket. This 40,000 square meter building is Ferrari's insurance policy. It's called the E-building. Most car companies just buy batteries from China and software from Silicon Valley. Ferrari said no thanks. They are hand-assembling their own batteries and motors right here in Italy. They want technological sovereignty, which just means they don't want anyone else holding the keys to their future. Meet Luce. It's the first Ferrari that doesn't roar, and for some fans, that's heresy. But Ferrari isn't selling a sound. They're selling an emotional kilowatt. They have to prove that an electric Ferrari can still make your hair stand up. Q4 2025 was the reveal, but 2026 is when we find out if the world is ready for a silent masterpiece. How do you make an electric car feel like a Ferrari? You write the code yourself. Ferrari is building its own brain, proprietary software that controls how the car dances on the road. They aren't using off-the-shelf parts. From the F1-inspired aero to the battery packs, they are keeping the soul inside the house. The schedule is brutal. Starting now, Ferrari is dropping 4 new models every single year. That's a pace that would break most luxury brands. But by 2030, they want 40% of their fleet to be full electric. It's a sprint to stay relevant while the world transitions away from fossil fuels. Here is the ultimate flex. Ferrari is the only company where customers actually thank them for the privilege of spending $500,000. Their waitlist is 2 years long. If you want one today, you're looking at 2028. And 84% of their sales go to people who already own a Ferrari. It's not a car club, it's a cult of exclusivity. But it's not all sunshine and champagne. Ferrari is dangerously dependent on single-source suppliers for high-tech parts. If one factory in Asia has a bad week, Maranello stops. Plus, there's the lifestyle gamble. They're opening museums and selling $1,000 jackets to hedge their bets. If people stop caring about engines, Ferrari wants to make sure they still care about the brand. For the investors watching, here is the why. Ferrari is now sending 40% of its profits directly back to shareholders as dividends. Plus, they're spending 3.5 billion euros to buy back their own stock. They are basically saying, we are so confident in our future that we're betting on ourselves with everything we've got. So the verdict? Ferrari isn't a car company. It's a high-tech, software-defined luxury ecosystem. They just happen to build the fastest machines on Earth to prove it. The silence of the electric age isn't their end. It's just a change in the soundtrack. If you need the full-page institutional deep dive on the luxury sector, you know where to find us. Head over to HDINResearch.com or drop us an email at sales@HDINResearch.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, would you drive a silent Ferrari? Thanks for watching.